Could the Avengers solo the Invincible universe? The only thing that I've ever seen from Invincible that was like broken was the Viltrumites, right? So I don't know any of the other characters besides the ones that are talked about the most, like Thrag, Omni-Man, etc., whatever. The Avengers going up against them though, the Justice League could easily wipe them. Easily, right? But the Avengers, it might be harder. Hulk could get stronger than them. Thor might be able to fight a couple before he gives out. Maybe. They have an ultimate contingency plan. If everything ever went to, it would be Hulk, and then Hulk would just be let loose, and that's it. And then, you know, we'll see what happens after that. But hit that like button, hit that sub button if you haven't already. And yeah, let's check this out, boys. My bad. Talking too much.
Thor can barely lift his arm. Hulk is bleeding from wounds that should have closed an hour ago. Iron Man's suit is in pieces on the pavement. And Thrag hadn't even taken the fight seriously yet. The Avengers just dropped into the Invincible universe. Full roster, full prep time. Every satellite Stark owns mapping the skyline.
They gotta fight the Invincible universe. It's the Avengers against the universe of Invincible. So everything in Invincible. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Avengers would have maybe a tougher time. But again, Justice League would easily clear them. Easily. I know that for a fact. I don't want to see the Avengers get whooped. They might get whooped.
Before boots hit the ground, Vision running threat pattern analysis on every confirmed superhuman in the local cluster. Cap with 3 retreat protocols loaded and a comms channel open to every member of the team. None of it mattered. This isn't the MCU. Punches here crack continents. Healing factors make Wolverine look like he bruises easy. The question isn't whether Earth's mightiest heroes are powerful. They are. The question is whether power means anything in a universe built to break people who think they're prepared. 3 rounds. F to S. And the answers get ugly fast.
Yo, Hulk was, dang. He was handling that boy.
F to S. And the answers get ugly fast. The Guardians of the Globe. Round 1 looks manageable. The Guardians of the Globe. Immortal, War Woman, Green Ghost, Darkwing, Aquarius, Red Rush, Martian Man are this universe.
So we got Batman
versus Justice League.
Okay, yeah.
Genuinely dangerous, but the Avengers had prep time and Stark spent it well. Thor goes straight at Immortal, which is the obvious call and also the first mistake. The first swing of Mjolnir caves Immortal's chest cavity inward and drops him in a heap. And for a half second, Thor thinks the fight's already over. Then Immortal's ribs pop back into place with a sound nobody on the field wants to hear again. And he's on his feet. And he's smiling. Immortal's regeneration is so extreme that killing him and stopping him are different problems. Thor puts him down a second time, harder, with a lightning cord hammer strike that craters the pavement underneath him. Immortal gets... Puts him down a second time, harder, with a lightning cord hammer strike that craters the pavement underneath him. Gets back up. Thor puts him down a third time. He gets back up faster. Each iteration shaves seconds off the recovery. And Thor is the one running on a clock now. Eventually, Thor finds rhythm. Pin first, swing second, keep him down with weight rather than damage, and takes him out of the equation. But the universe just taught him something. In this place, killing something once isn't the same as winning. Call it a B. Thor won, but he bled energy he won't get back. Across the field, Iron Man's dealing with Red Rush, who moves at sustained supersonic speed, fast enough that the shockwave alone is the weapon. The first strips 2...
Yo, that was clean as hell. He like ran up into the air and like snapped his fingers and used the shockwave to like knock Iron Man, I guess. I don't know. That looks so tough. Wait, hold up. That looks so tough.
at supersonic speed, fast enough that the
Look at
shockwave alone
Dang.
is the weapon. The first pass strips 2 external sensor
That's kinda
arrays
tough.
off the suit before Stark's targeting.
He's not good though. He's not tough. He's not tough. Flash is whooping his so fast. Flash is gonna take him across the world so many times. He'll be the one getting dizzy. Even though he's a speedster, he'll be getting dizzy. I don't think Iron Man would have a problem with a speedster like him though.
Can register what hit him. The suit's threat detection isn't built for something that crosses the visible horizon in a single frame. By the time Tony adapts, the helmet has cracked twice from the pressure differential of Red Rush's wake. Stark goes magnetic. A pulsed disruption field tuned to the frequency of the speed trail itself, dragging Red Rush's velocity vector into a stutter. He neutralizes the threat in the next pass. The tech worked. The suit took damage it wasn't supposed to take. Another B. Cap draws War Woman, and it's the most honest fight in this chapter. She's in a different physical class, and Steve knows it before the first exchange. He doesn't try to win. He runs the clock. He puts a building between them. He bleeds her into corners she hasn't planned for. Twice, she clips him hard enough that the shield arm goes numb. And twice, he resets and forces another angle. He doesn't land a single clean blow on her, but he doesn't need to. He needs to still be alive when the rest of the team finishes. And
Where's
he
Hulk at?
is. That's the difference between a tear and a body on the floor. Call it a C, but the C is earned. Hulk and Martial Man is the shortest fight on the field. Martian Man tries to shift mid-combat.
Wait, did he turn him to dust?
Shortest fight on the field.
He turned him to dust. He's not there anymore.
Martian Man
He
tries
did
to
say it was the
shift
shortest fight too.
mid-combat,
So.
adopting a denser form,
I'm
then a
crying.
more agile one, looking for the answer that keeps him in the fight. Adaptive biology needs time. Hulk doesn't give time. The third shape doesn't finish forming. A tier. Widow and Hawkeye handle Green Ghost, Darkwing, and Aquarius between them. Not without bruises. Hawkeye's first phasing
Really?
arrow catches Green Ghost mid-intangibility.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect Hawkeye or Black Widow to even be able to fight any character in Invincible, but I'm impressed. This okay.
And grounds her where she doesn't expect to land. Widow's electroshock kit is built for opponents like Darkwing, who runs on shadow tech she's seen variants of before. Aquarius takes him longer. He gets a hand on Hawkeye and almost takes him under before Widow puts 2 rounds through his shoulder. Bruised, not broken.
Get exclusive Mortal Kombat 2 wallpapers for your
Those
PC.
are probably the only characters they'll be able to fight.
6 minutes by Stark's clock. The Avengers clear the Guardians. If you're watching from outside, it looks like a clean sweep. It isn't, because something else just registered the fight on every sensor in the system, and it was already on its way before the dust cleared. The Beast arrives.
Beast.
Battle Beast doesn't announce himself.
What?
He arrives crater first, in the middle of what used to be a city block. And the impact registers on seismic monitors 3 states away. He stands up slowly. The way a man stands up at a bar he's just been told has a fight worth joining, and starts looking for the next thing worth breaking. This is the warrior who fought Thrag long enough that Thrag had to actually try to kill him. He hunted Viltrumites for sport. He didn't come here as a soldier. He came because the Guardians fight registered on every sensor in the system. And whatever.
So basically, it's gonna be Thor and Hulk fighting this man, because if he was hunting Viltrumites for sport, then he's the one. He's the one. Yeah, the rest of the team is gone.
Whatever caused it might finally be interesting. Cap reads the threat in 2 seconds and calls the retreat. Hawkeye covers with 3 arrows on the way back. Widow lays suppressing fire across Battle Beast's line of sight. None of it slows him by a single step. Battle Beast doesn't allow retreats. Hawkeye's arrows shatter on his hide. Not deflect, shatter. the carbon shafts splintering on the impact like they hit reinforced concrete. The exploding tips detonate against him, and he doesn't even register the heat. Widow's bites discharge against his shoulder, and the current dissipates into nothing. She follows up with a leg sweep that should put down a heavyweight, and her boot rebounds off his calf without moving him. Cap raises the shield in time, and her boot rebounds off his calf without moving him. Cap raises the shield in time to deflect one swipe, and the deflection works, technically, the way a deflection is supposed to. The angle is right, the geometry's right, the force behind it is what's wrong. The blow carries through the vibranium and travels into Cap's arm, then his shoulder, then his chest. And Steve travels 40 feet into a concrete barrier that doesn't survive his arrival. All three down in 90 seconds. Not dead, done. Hawkeye and Widow drop into the F tier. Their gear doesn't register as damage to something like this. Cap earns a D. Yeah, he read the fight correctly, reacted correctly, and it didn't matter. Iron Man burns through suits faster than he'd like to admit. The first runs full diagnostic, every spectrum, every density profile, mapping Battle Beast's hide layer by layer. It lasts 12 seconds before a single overhand swing detonates it around Tony's body and forces an emergency eject. The second deploys with the data the first one died gathering.
How many suits does he have on
concentrated
hand
energy
usually?
weapons and adaptive kinetic dampeners. It buys Stark 30 seconds and a fractured rib through the impact armor. Stark identifies a pain threshold near the inner ear and deploys a sonic disruptor tuned to the right frequency on the third suit. It works. Battle Beast staggers. Actually staggers. The first time anyone has made him do that since he arrived. Stark grins for about 8 seconds. Then Battle Beast grabs the third suit mid-fight, peels it open like packaging at the seam joints he'd already mapped from watching the first two come apart, and throws Tony Stark into the upper atmosphere. D tier. The suit was the plan. Now there's no suit. That leaves Thor and Hulk. And for the first time...
Wait, so is Tony dead then? Like... He just threw him up in the space without a suit. What's going on?
In this entire crossover, the fight feels like a fight. Mjolnir connects on the first swing, and Battle Beast grins. That's the tell. He's not absorbing damage and grinding through it. He's enjoying the calibration, measuring himself against something that finally hits back. He takes the second swing on his forearm deliberately just to feel the impact register, and then he's moving, repositioning faster than something his size has any right to do, putting Hulk and Thor on opposite sides of him so they can't both swing at once. Hulk's output climbs the way it always does, but Battle Beast's combat IQ tracks every escalation and adjusts. When Hulk goes high, Battle Beast goes low. When Thor calls lightning, Battle Beast steps inside the strike radius before the bolt lands. He's reading them. Each strike he takes teaches him the next strike to dodge. 3 exchanges in, and he's already winning a fight that should have been lost in the opening seconds.
Right.
The turning point isn't attack.
I was thinking, because even if he is combat IQ and stuff like that, fighting the Hulk is an unpredictable fight. Thor, you can maybe somewhat start to read eventually, but the Hulk, you're never going to be able to read. So he should have been done in the first few seconds probably, but I don't know.
It's that Hulk stops calculating entirely. No positioning, no pattern, no distinction between offense and defense. He takes a strike to the jaw that he could have slipped, just to close the distance enough to grab Battle Beast's leg and fold him into the pavement. Just a force of nature swinging harder than strategy can account for. Battle Beast can read a fighter. He can't read weather. Thor catches the moment, calls Mjolnir down at the exact instant Hulk pins him, brings the hammer through the back of Battle Beast's skull with every joule of stored lightning he has left. Battle Beast goes down, unconscious. For Battle Beast, that's the same as losing, and he'll know it the second he wakes up. The cost is visible. Thor can barely raise his arm. Hulk...
He's not dead. He didn't say he died. He's knocked out. So he survived that.
Is bleeding from 3 separate wounds that would have closed by now in any other universe. Up in orbit, the Viltrumite fleet logged every second of it, and the actual Viltrumites haven't landed yet. The Viltrumite Reckoning.
Why is Hulk's healing factor not working in their universe? What's going on?
The Viltrumites didn't send Battle Beast to win. They sent him to find out who was left standing. Now they have their answer. 2 damaged Avengers and a billionaire in low orbit. Except Stark caught his own fall halfway down. Reserve thrusters in the undersuit, an emergency assembly protocol he's been refining since New York. The protocol pulls scattered armor fragments to him from the orbital debris field. Pieces of the second suit, fragments of the first, anything still broadcast in his signature, and reassembles around him in midair. By the time the fleet drops out of orbit, Tony's back on the ground in a suit cobbled from 3 wrecks and a prayer, held together by the assumption he won't need it long. They don't send the army first. That's not how Viltrumites operate. They send conquest. This is the Viltrumite who came closest to killing Invincible. One fight, he broke Mark, beat him into a coma, killed Eve in front of him, and only died because Mark watched the woman he loved flatline and finally stopped fighting like a person. Against a healthy roster, conquest is a war.
Wait, that was cool. Is that from an actual scene?
Is
that from an actual scene?
And only died because Mark watched the woman he loved flatline and finally stopped fighting like a person. Against a healthy roster, conquest is a war. Against what's left of the Avengers right now, he's arithmetic. The moment he enters the atmosphere, the physics announce themselves. Re-entry at Viltrumite combat speed, 3,000 degrees on the surface alone, and the impact crater spreads outward in concentric rings of vaporized concrete. He doesn't land hard. He lands the way a hammer lands. He's smiling when the dust clears. Stark doesn't punch. He deploys the move he's been holding since before Battle Beast hit the dirt. A sonic resonance weapon tuned to Viltrumite ear canal frequency. The inner ear is the one documented vulnerability in Viltrumite physiology. The right signal causes disorientation severe enough to interrupt flight, coordination, even the fine motor control needed to throw a punch on target. It works. Conquest staggers in midair. The Viltrumites in the support wave clutch their heads and lose altitude by 20 meters before they catch themselves. 90 seconds of confusion. 90 seconds of Conquest flinching for the first time in his life. Thor uses every one of them, calls down a lightning chain through the disoriented wave that puts 3 of them on the ground for longer than they want to admit. So does Hulk, who hits Conquest mid-stagger hard enough to fold him through the side of a building and out the other side. For 90 seconds, the Avengers are winning. Then, a Viltrumite outside the payload radius comes in from the left, grabs the suit at the collar, and pulls. The armor separates from Stark at the shoulder mount with a sound like industrial machinery failing. Tony hits the pavement with nothing between him and the concrete except the undersuit. D tier. The sonic field collapses with the suit. The Viltrumites recover. 6 of them pile onto Hulk in a coordinated stack. They watched the Battle Beast footage. They understood what the data was telling them. You don't tire the Hulk out. You don't hurt him into submission. You bury him under mass and hold him there until the math changes. Hulk's math doesn't change. He throws the first one off so hard, the body cracks the size of a skyscraper 4 blocks away. The second, he catches mid-grapple and uses a club against the third. The fourth dislocates his shoulder with a hold designed to break Viltrumite bone. And Hulk reaches across with his good arm and breaks the Viltrumite's jaw before they can adjust their grip. The 5th and 6th bury him for almost 10 seconds. It isn't. He comes up out of the pile, bleeding from places nothing should be able to bleed from in this universe. Hunched, breathing through teeth. Shoulders still hanging wrong, not down. Solid B. They couldn't destroy him. They couldn't bury him. They couldn't drop him. They just made him angrier. And now they have to figure out what to do with the Hulk that's run out of patience. And then Thrag walks out of the fleet. Not flies, walks through open air. Thrag is faster than Omni-Man, more durable than anything else in this crossover, and has never once in his existence encountered a threat he needed to take seriously. Thor doesn't try to outwit him. Thor hits him with everything. A full lightning discharge, the kind that's reshaped weather systems in other fights, the kind that's leveled mountain ranges. The bolt comes down through Mjolnir and through Thor and into Thrag in a column of light that turns the air around him into plasma. Thrag rolls his shoulder. That's the response. That's all of it. He absorbs a strike that has hospitalized gods and rolls his shoulder, and then he closes the gap. Mjolnir connects on the side of his jaw. Thrag doesn't stumble, and then he hits back. The blow catches Thor in the chest and lifts him clean off the ground. Thor takes it. Thor lands. Thor swings again. Thor keeps swinging. That part matters. He is the only being in this entire matchup who made Thrag adjust his footing. A tier, genuinely. Not as consolation. The footwork is real. The acknowledgement is real. Thrag didn't have to plant his back foot for any other Avenger. But adjust isn't stop. And the gap between those two things is where this ends. Hulk is on his feet. Thor is on his feet. Neither of them has fallen. Neither of them's gonna fall, because that's not who they are. They don't lose by going down. They lose by running out of universe. The Viltrumite fleet hasn't moved. Thrag is watching them the way you watch something interesting before you decide what to do with it. Hulk's shoulder is hanging wrong, and he's still tracking the wave, looking for the next Viltrumite stupid enough to come within reach. Thor has lightning he can't summon and breath he can barely catch, and Mjolnir gripped in a hand that should have given out 2 exchanges ago, and his stance is still forward. The Avengers couldn't solo this universe. Not because they're not extraordinary, they are. By every standard the MCU built them against, the Invincible universe just runs on different math, where power is the starting point, not the ceiling. But Thor and Hulk are still standing, so drop your roster in the comments. Doctor Strange with the Time Stone, Wanda with the Dark Hold, the X-Men with Prep Time. Who actually survives this universe? Because someone has to. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
The X-Men win this. The X-Men easily. Well, actually, maybe not. I don't know. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Do you think the Avengers could solo the Invincible universe? Put in the comments below the roster you guys would put against the Invincible universe. I love when we get these types of broken fights, you know what I mean? Because they're just so over the top, like anything can happen. You know? Yeah, GG's boys. GG's.